The story of the fear of fire. In a quiet valley surrounded by misty hills, there was a small village where night always seemed longer than day. The people there lived simple lives, tending sheep, weaving cloth, and lighting small lamps when the sun went down. But there was one strange rule in this village: no one was allowed to keep a fire burning too bright. Every night, when the lamps flickered too strongly, someone would whisper, "Lower it, or the darkness will come for us." And so the villagers learned to live softly, to speak softly, dream softly, and never shine too brightly. Among them lived a young boy named Leo. He was quiet, thoughtful, and often stared at the flames longer than anyone else. While others feared fire, he was drawn to it. Sometimes, when no one watched, he'd let his lamp burn higher, watching the shadows dance on the walls. He felt something stir in his chest, something alive, fierce, and beautiful. But each time he did, his mother would rush to snuff it out. "Do you want the darkness to see us?" she'd scold. "The brighter your fire, the faster it will find you." No one could explain what the darkness really was, only that it punished those who burned too brightly. So Leo grew up learning to hide his light. One winter evening, a traveler came down from the mountains, an old man with eyes like embers. He carried no lamp, yet wherever he walked, the air around him glowed faintly, as if the fire itself followed him. The villagers whispered, afraid. But Leo felt something familiar in the man's warmth. That night, Leo found him sitting alone by the river, staring at the reflection of the moon. "Why do they fear you?" Leo asked. The old man smiled. "Because I carry fire. And fire wakes what they've long buried." "Buried?" Leo frowned. "Their own light," said the man. "They've forgotten it. They fear it now. The same way they fear yours." He leaned closer. "Tell me, boy, have you ever felt something inside you burning, calling, wanting to grow?" Leo hesitated. "Yes. But I try to keep it small. They say if I don't, the darkness will find me." The old man chuckled softly. "Ah, they are half right. The darkness will come for you, but not from outside. It lives in fear itself. And fear feeds on light that refuses to shine." Leo didn't fully understand, but his heart stirred. Something deep inside whispered, "He's right." After that night, the old man stayed in the village. He taught Leo how to tend a flame, not with oil and wick, but with breath and courage. "Every person," he said, "carries a spark inside, a power, a dream, a gift. Most people smother it because they are afraid of what will happen if it grows. They say, 'What if I fail?' or 'What if I burn everything I love?' So they live safely, but dimly." Leo practiced lighting small fires, letting them burn brighter each night. With every flame, he felt stronger, not in his muscles, but in his spirit. He started to dream again, of creating, of exploring, of becoming something greater. But the villagers began to whisper. "His fire is growing too strong. He'll bring misfortune upon us. He's dangerous." Leo's mother begged him to stop. "They'll cast you out if you keep this up." But Leo couldn't go back. The light was no longer outside him, it was him. One night, the wind howled through the valley. A storm rolled in, and the villagers gathered in the square, terrified. Lightning struck a nearby tree, setting it ablaze. The flames spread quickly, licking at the roofs. People screamed, throwing water in panic. But the more they fought it, the stronger the fire grew. Then, out of the darkness, the old man's voice rose. "Leo, this is your moment. Do not fear your flame. Command it." Leo froze. His hands trembled. The villagers stared, shouting, "Do something! You brought this curse!" Tears filled his eyes. His heart pounded. He could feel the fire inside him pulsing, begging to be released. And then, for the first time, he stopped running from it. He closed his eyes and breathed deeply. The fear melted. He extended his hands, and the flames bent toward him, swirling in a golden arc. The villagers gasped. The fire didn't burn him. It danced around him, gentle as sunlight. He guided it toward the river, where it hissed softly and died away. When the smoke cleared, the village was saved. But Leo no longer looked like the same boy. His eyes burned with quiet strength. His fear was gone. The next morning, the villagers gathered before the old man and Leo. They were silent, ashamed and awed. The old man said, "You've lived your lives fearing the darkness. But the darkness was never out there. It was in your hearts, the fear of your own power, your own greatness. You thought hiding your light kept you safe. But it only made you blind." He turned to Leo. "You have learned what most people never do, that the thing we fear most is not our weakness, but our strength. The fire we hide could warm the world or destroy it, depending on whether we use it with fear or with love." Leo looked around at the villagers, his friends, his mother. "I was afraid of my light," he said softly, "because I thought I didn't deserve it. But now I see light is not pride. It is purpose." From that day on, the village changed. They began to let their lamps burn brighter. They sang at night. They told stories around the fire. Children grew up without the old fear. And sometimes, when the flames flickered too high, they would smile and say, "Let it burn, not to destroy, but to remind us that we are alive." Moral of the story: we fear our potential because it asks us to become more than we are, to leave comfort behind, to shine where others stay dim, to take responsibility for our own light. But the truth is, our greatest fear is not that we are weak, it's that we are powerful beyond measure. The flame within us is not meant to be hidden. It is meant to illuminate, to warm, to inspire, to guide. Only when we stop fearing our own light do we truly begin to live.